Clay tablets were one of the earliest forms of writing materials used during the ancient period. People would press symbols or cuneiform writing into the soft clay using a red stylus. The antecedents of clay tablets began with the use of counting tokens around 8000 BCE, which were small clay objects used to represent codes and numbers for trade and record keeping. These tokens were enclosed in clay bullae or hollow clay balls that carried markings on the outside to show what was inside. People started making pictographs on clay surfaces using symbols to represent objects and ideas instead of physical tokens. These developments lead to the creation of the clay tablets, a more advanced and permanent way to record information, paving the way for early writing systems like cuneiform in ancient Mesopotamia.
Before papyrus, people usually wrote on clay tablets. The antecedents of paper papyrus was clay tablets. So clay tablets, while it is durable in early form of writing material, it has several disadvantages. Especially ilang weight, ilang kabag-on, nga, the way it's difficult to transport and store, limiting the ease with which information could be disseminated. Pasabot, tungod sa iyang kabugat, maglisod og transport or give og information throughout the transportation process. Then the process of creating and inscribing on clay was also labor intensive, requiring skilled scribes to carefully imprint cuneiform characters while the clay was still moist. So aside of its expensive materials or costly materials, it is very hard to make it, especially when writing their cuneiform. Once it's dried, the tablets were difficult to alter or erase, making correction and conversible and revision nearly impossible. Means once it was dried, the clay tablets, any revision or what else cannot be done due to its texture since na-dry na siya. Next, furthermore, the limited surface area of a tablet restricted the amount of text that could be recorded, often necessitating the use of multiple tablets for longer documents. So these factors combine to make clay tablets a less efficient and versatile medium compared to later invention like papyrus and paper. And that's how paper papyrus being antecedents of clay tablets.
Good day everyone. So I will be presenting the continuation of our report last meeting. So this is Antikythera mechanism. So recap, what is Antikythera mechanism? So it is the first mechanical computer. So even before modern technology existed, the Greeks already made a machine that could model the movements of the sun, moon, planets, and even predict eclipses. So yung sa nila pagkamap sa yung aning device. So una di ay kanang people learn how to measure time using simple tools like kaning sundials para mahibawaan ang oras. Like gamit ang adlaw. Like mabutang sila stick sa usa ka surface and then and water clocks. So this taught them how to track hours and days. So mo ni siya important ang pag-track sa ilaha sa hours and days para ma-track nila ang movement sa langit. So nga di ay ang first jud ay nakakan sa idea kay ang Babylonians. The oldest civilization passed important knowledge about astronomy. So discovered cycles in the sky like star cycles, which is about 18 years and help predict eclipses, and Metonic cycle, which is useful for aligning lunar months with solar years. So kani siya nga knowledge kay napasa sa Greeks. So eventually, ang Greeks kay naka-invent siya og machine gamit ilang mechanical skills. They invented tooth gears. So mga gear nga naay mga ngipon, which allowed them to build machines with moving parts. Kaunti ka ng icon sa imong settings like that. So devices like planetarium of Archimedes showed how the planets move in the sky. So like this in nasa image. So combining all of this build the Antikythera mechanism.
Watermills were considered one of the greatest contributions of the Greek civilization to the world. They were widely used in agricultural processes, and they were also considered better than farm animal-powered mills because of the less effort and time they needed to operate. Under what circumstances does the watermills originate? So these are the key factors and innovations that led to the development of watermills. First is human and animal power limitations. Before watermills, most mechanical work such as grinding grain, sawing wood, and etc. was done manually or with animal power. These methods were labor-intensive and inefficient, prompting a need for alternative energy sources. Second is the technological knowledge from ancient civilizations. Greek engineers like Philo of Byzantium and Vitruvius described early watermill designs as early as the 1st century BCE. The Romans then advanced the technology, building both vertical and horizontal water wheels. Next is the geographical conditions. Watermills required flowing water, so societies near river or streams had the necessary conditions to harness hydropower. The presence of rivers in Europe and the Middle East facilitated early adoption. And lastly, agricultural expansion. As agriculture expanded, so did the need to process grain efficiently. Water mills became an ideal solution for grinding grain at scale. On the other hand, water mills had profound economic, technological, and social impacts. So in the economic impact, it increased productivity. Water mills could grind grain far faster than manual labor. It also lowered the food costs. Greater efficiency led to lower costs in producing flour and other essentials. It stimulated local economies. Mills often became commercial hubs, especially in medieval towns. Second is the technological advancements. Water mills were a precursor to many industrial machines. Innovations like gears, cams, and crankshafts that are used in mills influenced later inventions during the Industrial Revolution, powered various functions beyond grinding, like fulling cloth, sewing wood, pumping water, and etc. Moreover, in social organization, control of mills often meant control of resources. Lords or monasteries who owned mills held significant power over local populations. It also led to the development of millwright as a specialized profession. Water mills sometimes became centers of village life and economy, shaping rural settlement patterns. In the environmental impact, it modified landscapes through damming and rerouting of rivers. It led to the creation of artificial mill ponds and changes in water flow that affected local ecosystems. And lastly, it became precursor to industrialization. Water mills represent one of the earliest uses of renewable mechanical power. It laid the groundwork for factories powered by water, especially in textile production during the early stages of the Industrial Revolution. To summarize, water mills emerged as a response to the limitation of human and animal labor, drawing on ancient engineering knowledge and the availability of flowing water. They revolutionized agriculture and industry by increasing productivity, reshaping economies, and laying the foundation for later technological advances.